towards Christmas now, and I'm on a very windy Salthouse beach up at North Norfolk. I'm now going to try and put the beach shelter up, which should be fun in this wind. Right, here goes putting the beach shelter up on a very, very windy beach. Put the bag away so I don't get blown away. Right. First of all, I've got a bag attached to it that I'm going to fill with shingle, and hopefully I'll just add a bit of extra safety in this wind that helps be an anchor. So I remember when I first got this beach shelter, the trouble I had putting this up on a windy beach. I nearly ended up throwing it in the sea to get rid of the thing. But we've had a bit of practice now, so I think I know what I'm doing. I only say think. Right, put these away before they get lost. Right. Right. Do for that bit. Right. Come on. Blew my howl. Right. Well, that's the beach shelter up. Now to get the rest sorted out. Whew. It's now past 3. I've been fishing, I think, for about half an hour. But it's been too chaotic with this wind. But had the first cast in, the 3-hook flapper with the 2 circle hooks and the 1 J hook, because I couldn't untangle the other hooks I wanted to use because they're all just tied in a knot. So that had whiting on the bottom of the J hook and a dab on the circle hook on the top hook at the. So that's good, because I didn't want to catch this white, so I had to put something else which makes a change. So glad about that. But it is so windy. As you can see, the sea's nice and flat, but it isn't flat because that's an offshore breeze, so the breeze is directly behind me and come directly behind me and straight onto the sea. So the sea is nice and flat, plenty of colour in the water. But walking back up to the beach shelter, up this single shingle slope, I had a job to walk back up there at once. The wind was just so strong I could hardly make it. But oh, looks like I just had a bite on the pulley pennel I put out on the second one. It's got a big old chunk of squid and some mackerel on there. Just had some action on that, so just big whiting would be nice. It's got to be a fairly big mouth whiting to fit it all in, but we'll have to see. I'll give it another minute or two, then we'll go and have a look. Right, definitely something biting on that right end rod with the flapper, so we'll get that and have a look at that. Bottom 2 hooks. Right, it's now 20 past 4 and I've got one of these rig shark bite indicators on the on top of a rod, but because it's so windy I just keep making it flash all the time, so there's not really a lot of use, so I think I'll have to take that off and bring the rods up here. Although I hoped being down there they'd be a bit more sheltered because they're sort of quite low compared to where I am up on the top of the shingle. But it looks like I'm certainly getting some more bites. I've had I think whiting on the flapper every time so far, and the last one I had 2 whiting and 1 dab, so I had 2 little dabs, which is nice, better than all those whiting every time, but they're only tiny ones, so they went straight back. And on the pulley pennel I haven't actually had anything on that yet. The bait has been pulled out and certainly some of it's been eaten, but no fish on it yet, but we'll wait and see. We might get something on it, but the flapper, which has got the 2 circle hooks on it and the 1 J hook, apart from 1 whiting on the which was on the J hook on the bottom one, all the rest have worked as circle hooks should, and just hooked them just inside the mouth, so they've been easy to unhook. I have kept 3 because there's been some decent sort of fat whiting, so I've got some to take out tonight. So anyway, that's 4:30. It's about, should be about low tide. Oh, it should be low tide now, so high tide should be at about 10:15. So I aren't going to be here that late, but tide should be at its lowest point now, and it's absolutely flat smooth, which is weird when it's how windy it is, but because the wind's blowing off the land like this, that does smooth the sea out. But it is perfectly smooth, there's hardly any wave action at all. So anyway, I'm going to have my cup of tea now, and then I'll get the pulley pedal in again, and then I'll move the rods back here, and and I'll take the tip lights off, so just use my head torch and just use that for light indication. Okay, it's gone 5 o'clock now, and as you can hear, it's pretty windy up ahead, widening, but then I had just a single little dab on, and that's amazing. I had a dab the size, no bigger than the palm of my hand, and even with all this wind and the rod top being knocked back, amazing. You can still tell, you can still see the bite. You know, I am using braid, which obviously makes a big difference, but it was amazing. This little tiny fish and all the movement on the rod tops due to the wind, but still this little tiny dab could make the rod top rattle. So I was quite surprised by that, but at least that just showed one of the benefits of using braid rather than mono, especially in this sort of conditions. And as you can see, I've got the new Hal. I can't do up the air flaps, because if I do up the air flaps, if I put them round here, oh, that's so hot. It's unbelievable. But it's a good fit. It hasn't blown off yet. The cap, I had to stop using the cap because I kept having to chase the cap down the beach, which wasn't so bad in the daylight, but not so much fun in the dark because you'd lose sight of it. And being a dark coloured cap and against all this shingle, that wasn't the best thing to do. But so far that's been good, really. I had some decent sized white, and I've got 4 or 5 that I'll take home. I'll show you at the end what I'm going to take, and a few dabs, but they've only been tiddly little things, so nothing worth taking home. They've all gone back, but so far so good. There's definitely something pulling away at that way. Get out of the chair. There you go. Another little dab, little tiny thing. Sorry about the poor quality of this video, but the wind got the better of me. Firstly, blew my camera tripod over, broke the connector which connects my receiver for the wireless microphone to my phone that I use to do all the filming. So it meant I couldn't use my wireless microphone. This also meant from then on I was just using my phone for sound and video, which, as you can appreciate, with the wind, was just a complete waste of time. It was so bad I just couldn't put it on this video because it was just such a poor quality. I mean, I think what I've got on here already is bad enough, but It was really horrendous. So hence the reason it's a very short, odd sort of video. Apart from that, that was quite a good session. Plenty of whiting again, all of a decent size. I mean, I took 7 home in the end, and they were all 30 centimetres plus, and there were one or two really good fat ones, so there were some good fillets on those. And it was nice to catch something other than the whiting. I got about, I suppose, half a dozen dabs in amongst them, but only tiny little things. But even so, it was nice to get something other than whiting, even though they were only little dabs. So anyway, a lesson learnt about filming in the wind: make certain you hang a bag of shingle on the bottom of your tripod. Never thought of it at the time, not until it was too late, and well, just too late. That was a waste of time trying to do anything after that. So sorry about that. Another thing, I got an apology here. On my last video I did in Southwold, I was using some squid with a little bit of crab cart inside, which I'd seen on other videos was supposed to be quite a good bait. But I was reminded by a couple of subscribers about whether it was actually against the rules to use crab cart on this part of the coast. So I did check, and it is. You can't use crab cart if you're fishing on the east coast here, so which I think just covers Lincolnshire, Norfolk and Suffolk. You can use it as far as I know everywhere else, but if you've got any uncertainty about whether you can use it in your area, you're best to check the licensing authorities' websites and just see whether you are allowed to use it or not. But you're definitely not allowed to use it around the East Anglian coast. Hope that helps, and I apologise to anyone who's watching or listening who's been, you mustn't use that. I didn't know at the time, I just knew that you could buy it online wherever you wanted, and never crossed my mind about it not being allowed. But I know better now, and I know in future, just if I'm going to use any odd baits, just to make certain that they are okay to use. So I'd just like to say thank you for everyone who subscribed during this year. I hope we maybe get a few more. If you aren't subscribed and watching and listening now, then please do. I'd love to have you along on the channel. But until next year, have a great Christmas, have a happy new year, and I'll see you all in 24.